This
are
conference will
already
now
getting
be
panicked
recorded.
because let's see. I hope like things will improve in a couple of weeks. We'll come to know, right? Like,
Yeah.
all right. So back to the sessions that we were seeing. Okay. So any questions on the Ansible playbooks, installation, how to run it? Uh, the inventory part, yesterday we got one question, right? So we'll have a look at it, like how to run from the inventory file. It so by default, what happens is, let's go to okay. So by default, so if I want to write it down here, so the inventory, the default inventory path would be that is /etc Ansible hosts. Okay, so this is a path it will take if you are not providing any path for the inventory, right? But we can pass the inventory file like Ansible playbook, right? And with the -i, you can give the inventory path to the file. Right? So likewise, you can provide the path to the file where the inventory file is available. Okay, so from there it will pick and it can run from there. Okay, so likewise you can have based on the environment, you can have different inventory files, and when you are running the playbook, so you can pass the appropriate inventory file. Right, from there it will pick. Inventory file is again what it will have, that combination of, you have the tags like say app servers, you say app servers. So this is the file that will have the server details like app server 1. It can be an URL or it can be just a qualified name like this, app server 1, app server 2, like this. Or it can be a combination of some database also, you can add it here. And some URL like and some IP address like 100.1.10.2, something like this. So you can add, so that inventory file will have all these details. So you can maintain separate inventory files like the date, right? We have an environment for date. You can put all this details in that file called as date, like house we have, right? So you can give a name like date, and the same thing I can copy paste. Date is like a development environment, and I want it for, let's say, integration. So like an IAT, the IAT, I can change the server details here and here. And the same thing I can maintain for pre-production and the production. So when you're calling the playbook, you need to call the appropriate path so that it will pick all the servers from here and it will pick all the servers from here accordingly. Right? You just need to give the path to the file. Yeah, it makes sense here. So we'll see some examples as well.
Yeah, and see, like in real time, how does it know, like, to pick up the right environment? So
So that parameters we need to pass it. This path is there, right? So based on either it depends, like you're running this one manually or you're calling it from your pipeline. So when you're calling it
Jenkins.
from the Jenkins, when you're calling, so you will have a particular job that will run only in DIT, right? In that you will be deploying to DIT environment, and you'll have a separate job that will be running on IAT. In that you'll be calling the path to the IAT or integration or pre-production like that.
Oh, okay. But in the forums which I read, they were saying like we can use the same job for that all environments. So is that possible?
It is possible. Like only thing is, this thing you need to pass it as a parameter, right? So you can pass it as a parameter. Like build with parameters option is there. So in that you can pass this path as a parameter, and then you can run it from there. So that's one
Oh.
option is there. You find some other option like which is the more generic you're saying.
I mean, this path is a complete whole file path, right? Host path, right?
Yeah, correct. That's right. So default one will be this one, etc Ansible host. Like we need to maintain separate one for each environment, right? And this path to the file, you can pass it as a parameter. Like I'll tell you, there's an option like in Jenkins. Let me save this. Let's go with this one. Let's see. Okay, you can see here, right? This project is parameterized, and you can add the parameter, like the file parameter. Okay, so that so this is one way wherein you can provide the parameters. There is there's one plugin built with parameters. So let's go and save that once. Okay, so if I save this, let's see. So you'll get an option like this. So you can see, right? Build with parameters. Okay, so
Okay.
here in this inventory file, you can provide the, let's say you're building it for date, you just give the path here, or you can have the drop down as well, right? In the drop down, you can select which path you want to, which environment you want to build, and from there you can select it and you can build it. So that part, that variable will be passed. And the same thing you can use in your pipeline, right? It will be like simply in this format. You can use it in this format. Like example is env dot, like this is one of the variable, right? And this is an and they're using. So in the pipeline also you can use the same way, like using the env variable. Somewhere, yeah, env dot bar, something like this. Yeah, use this variable right here. The name is bar. So if you want to use that, you just have to use it in this way. Env, it will be stored in the environment variables. And if you want to use that, you can use it in this format. In Maven, if you want to go with, you can just go with $bar. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll try and see if that works. Okay. I'll come
Yeah,
back.
you can try that option. Yes, yes, definitely. You'll see that. There are ways, maybe there are other ways you can do it, but yeah, let's see what is the generic way. You just we'll try to figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's have a look at so we wanted to see the CI part, right? So in the CI part, this is, let's go back. For now, just take this off, right? So this is the pipeline script. Let's take this one. I think I already got it here somewhere. This one. Okay, so this is the one. This actually. So this pipeline. So first thing is we are doing the checkout. Here we are doing the checkout. And the second thing is we need to install a Kavichura plugin because we want to publish the reports. To publish the reports, we can make use of this plugin. And the reports in the sense you are running some JUnit test unit test cases. So once the test cases are run, you can publish that into as a coverage. You want to see how much test cases are covered, what are the issues. So for that, you have to go with the plugin called as Kavichura. Right? So that with Java-based application, it works. This one. This is the one of the plugin that we have to install it. Okay. So for that, it's simple. We just have to go here in Jenkins. Let's go back. I'll save it. Manage Jenkins. We'll go to the installed one because it's already installed. So if you go and search for, so this is the plugin, right? So this plugin, you need to install it. So once it is installed, again, we'll just go back here. So we can start using in our pipeline. Like this is the command. Maven, you're just cleaning and you're running the test, right? You're running the test as the option here. This is how you run it. You just queue Kabuchura, and you are passing this as a parameter. Kabuchura report format is XML, right? And you're posting once the all this test is completed. So you're posting using this step here again. This is Kabuchura publisher is there, and that report file will be found in this particular path. So this will be on your workspace. Workspace is where it is. Okay, I'll tell you what is the workspace. So if I go here, let me. So this is the workspace. Let me restart it. So if you go to this path, varlib Jenkins, you'll have the workspace as one of the. Okay, so this workspace is the folder where all your projects, that all the jobs that are running, right? You'll be seeing in this workspace folder. So let's go to the workspace. Let's clear this. So you can see that this demo pipeline. So from the Jenkins, if I just go back here, all the jobs that I have, right? 4 jobs. So it will be, even you can check in the, if you go to the, any of the jobs that are running here, right? If you go and click here and console output, you should be able to see the workspace details. So it is run by this guy and running on Jenkins in this particular workspace, right? So the path where this job is running actually on the Jenkins server, this is the path. Okay, varlib Jenkins workspace, and this is the name of the job that is running, demo pipeline. So all the activity is happening here. So let's go and see this. If you want to go and check that, all the files will be. So what it will do is it will download all the repository details, Jenkins file, pom.xml file, source, and everything, right? And in the target, it will be generating the test files. So if you go to the target, it will generate, sorry, it will be generating this under Kabuchura. You'll have those details. Like if I go to the again, Kabuchura. So there's nothing here. It will generate. Let's go back to our demo. Okay, where was that? So on the target site, so if you go to the target site, the site, this one. So this is the XML. So this is Kabuchura directory. Under this, you'll have the coverage.xml file will be generated here. So this will be generated as soon as you run this Maven clean test. Okay, so it will generate and it will create a coverage.xml file here. Okay. And then, so this is for unit testing. This is for unit testing. I can write this stage name. You can give anything. It's again, it's up to you. I can give it as install or unit testing. I can rename it. That's not a problem. Unit testing or something. And then coming to the Sonar Cube. So Sonar Cube. So we need to install this Sonar Cube. So for that, we'll be making use of this image sonar cube. Okay, so for that, let's run this image. Let's see if we have that Docker installed somewhere. I think, yeah, let's take this instance. We'll start this and we'll stop this one for the moment. Okay, let's start this and we will we will we'll run the SonarQube on this machine, right? So we will just go to this and we'll run it. Okay, so we got this IP address. Let's connect to this one. I think it is still starting. Okay, so here Docker should be there. Let's see. Yeah, Docker is there. So what we'll do is we will run that command. So we'll pull this particular image, SonarQube image. Okay, and we'll run it in the background. Let's run it in the background. Let's run in a detached mode. And 80, I think the port we have to enable like 8051. Let's take this port 8051. Okay, so now let's run this SonarQube. Okay, Docker is not running. Okay, so it has started. So now let's run this SonarQube. Okay, it is running in the background. Now we'll go to 8051 port and you should be able to see the SonarQube. Okay, it will take some time. So it has to pull the image and then it has to run. So in the meantime, we'll try to understand what this Sonar Cube is there. Like Sonar Cube is used to do the static code analysis, right? It'll go to each method and it'll check. There are certain rules that we can configure in Sonar Cube, which will go and check for those rules being applied on your code. Like for example, you used a method, right? Your method is not covering all the scenarios, like coverage is not there, or you used a variable which is, you defined a variable but which is not used anywhere, right? So likewise, even the naming conventions for your variables, for your methods, so all those things you can define as a rule, and the static code analysis SonarQube will run a scan on all your code repository, and then it will give you a result saying that these are the vulnerabilities, these are the bugs, potential bugs, and these are the issues in your code, and this is the coverage. Like you have a method. In that method, let's say there are 10 possible scenarios, right? So out of 10, you have just covered 3 scenarios, right? So you have written test cases for only 3. So that coverage and all, it will give the details there in that format, right? So that is a static code analysis it will be doing. Let's try to see if it is running now. I think 8051. Okay, I think 80, it should be 8081. Let's stop it. This one. Or what we can do is we can either go and add it to the firewall. So what we can do is we'll go here, we'll add it to the firewall. That's better. So let's take yeah, this one is there, right? So we'll edit this. So we'll edit this role. So we can add like 8051 here. 8051 we can add here, and we'll save it. Okay, so now let's see. It's able to run it. Okay, so now it is able to run it. So you'll be getting a SonarCube screen now. That's the login page. So this is how it looks like. So the default login is admin and admin. Admin, and the password is also admin. So we can log in here. So because we are downloading this image, right? So the default password is set as admin, but in your real time, it will be they will host this on some server, and you'll have a restricted access, and they'll create a users. So based on that, you will be getting a login to the SonarCube. Okay, so this is how the Sonar server looks like. So once we run some tests, so these are all the filters like quality gates, what is the reliability, like how many bugs, security vulnerabilities, security review, maintainability, coverage, like all this duplication, some code duplications are there. It will show all these results here like that, right? So what we'll do is we will go back here. So this part we have seen, right? This is done. The SonarCube again, if you want to run a sonar scan on your project, so you can run with the maven command, sonar hyphen colon sonar, and the URL you need to provide. And this URL we'll be setting up in the environment variables. So this is SonarQube host we have configured. For that, we have to go to our Jenkins server. In the Jenkins, there is an option to configure the environment variables. So we'll go to Manage Jenkins and the Manage Configure System. Under the global properties here, there is environment variables are there, right? So in this, you can add the variables like this. Let's say I want to add a variable, I'll give it a name and the value. Okay. So similarly, I've added a variable like SonarQube host, and we will give the IP address. So let's say this is the IP address. Sorry, I'll just go back. Here I'll copy the IP address. So this is the SonarQube host or the server where the SonarQube is running, server is running. I'll delete this. So likewise, you can also add for Artifactory. Artifactory we'll see in the next class. Okay. So for now, SonarQube host I have configured here and I've given the IP address. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, so once it is saved, you can use in your pipeline using the env. That's an environment variable, and this is the name of the that is the name we have given in the environmental variable, right? SonarQube host. So host URL you'll be providing in this format, and this is the command maven sonar colon sonar, and this will run the SonarQube analysis on the project that we have here. Okay, so let's go and run it and see what is the results. So the same pipeline, this is the demo pipeline, and I have added that script here. Okay, so the same script is here. Install Carbuchera and SonarQube. This is the thing. So let's go and run it. We'll build this one now. So build has started. So it is building in this workspace. In that workspace, it will download the repository. It will clone all the repository. And then it is running the maven clean Carbuchera, this one, scanning for projects. And it will download some dependencies are there to run this test. It will download to maven central. There's something called as maven central. So from there, it will start downloading all the dependencies. Okay, it is downloaded from central, some dependencies. Okay, and then it has started to build the application. This is some sample application I've taken from online. So it has started to build it. Some test it is trying to run. See whether it is passing or not. Okay, there is some failure. So if there is a failure, it will not go to the next stage. So it has skipped this particular stage because there was a failure in the previous step. Okay, let's see. So in order to debug, let's say whenever there is an issue, if you want to debug, you can either run the command using -e, or you can go with the -ex. So that will provide all the debugging logs. So to enable the debugging logs, so either you can go with this one, this switch, or you can go with the -e, right? So it will show all the errors if you want to see any errors. So you can go with this option. Okay. So let's go and see what is the issue here. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, Java compiler is not there. So let's see if Java home is configured properly. Java home is not configured properly. Let's try to install it. So all the error is saying that some file is not available. Okay, let's try to. It did run earlier. I'll try to see what is that error. Maybe I need to install Java or something. But usually, what happens? It did run last time when I run it, like on 15th. So earlier I got some errors, but here finally when the test runs right, you'll be able to see the result in this format. This is all the coverage it is having, right? This is the coverage. How many classes, methods, lines, conditions. So we need not worry, but developers think it is like for them it will be showing all the code coverage details in this format. Okay, but what we are interested in to see the SonarQube when it runs, how the SonarQube. Let's see that if we can fix this issue. Let's try to run it again. It is running now. Let's see. Okay, it has started running now. SonarQube here. You can see, right? It started running SonarQube. Um, and okay, this is a SonarQube version. Let's see how it runs. So finally, the build is success. If you go and see to the SonarQube and refresh it, so now you'll be able to see this is a project. This is a result of the scanning. Okay, there are no duplications, but there are some code smells are there. There are no bugs, vulnerabilities. So you can check the details here. If I click on this, you should get the details, more details there. Okay, reliability. Basically, it is saying quality gate status, all conditions has passed. Yeah, like this. So if you click on the issues, so it will give all the details here. So you need not worry. This is all again a developer thing. But only thing is we need to integrate in the pipeline, and just that's our concern as a DevOps engineer. So these things and all it will be taken care by the developer. So based on the issues, they will go and check what they have to fix it. So we should not be worried here. Okay. And another thing is we should be knowing about the rules in SonarQube. They are based on the different languages. So let's say if it is Java, these are all the common rules you can see here, right? So the combination and all this equality and all these things, right? Code smells Python. So I just want to filter by only Java. There are around 551 rules are there, right? So I can select which one I want from here. Basically, there is an architect. He'll be telling, okay, out of these, I want to configure, let's say, 30 or 40 rules. So based on that, you can select and apply the rules. Okay, so that again will be part of the DevOps role and responsibilities, right? So you'll be given saying that, okay, these are the rules, set of rules, and then we'll be going and applying those rules to the project. They're given some examples here as well. You can also create some profiles here, like quality profiles. So for your project, if you want to, let's say, you want to create a profile, so you can add a profile, and under that you can create the rules. Let's say you'll, for your project, you want to create one profile and assign some particular rules. And there is another project which doesn't require all those hundreds of rules. You can create one more profile and you can define the particular rules there, right? So you can also edit here. You can go and click and you can copy and compare and extend it. Extend means it'll again, you can go and change it. So this is a Java profile. This is a default one. So it is applying around 386 rules. Okay. So this is again developer stuff, so you need not worry. So main thing is how we can integrate this SonarQube in your pipeline. Okay. So this is once you install SonarQube, you just need to give the URL. And if you're using Maven, you just have to run it in this particular fashion. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll be I'll share this repository. Let's say I think this one is the one. So I think you should be having access to this. You can feel free to use any repositories from here for a demo purpose if you want to try out something. Okay, fine. That's fine. All right. So try this Jenkins CI. Along with that, so these repository details also I'll put it so that you can install SonarQube and then run it on your own, right? So just run in the background, make sure you're opening all the ports here properly, and then the SonarQube will be running. All right, so any questions here?
Nothing from for now.
Okay, I would suggest like just try this out. The pipeline code is already available. I think it is there. Yeah, it is there in the Jenkins file, but probably that is little different. I think it is trying to run both things in parallel, right? There is a keyword called as parallel. Now what this will do is it will run, you can run your unit test cases and as well as SonarQube in parallel. But this one is not working as of now. So I have just broken it down into two stages. So one is the unit testing and the other one is a SonarQube here. Okay, there is one more plugin which is very useful. That is okay. I can just put this entire code into the chat window just for your reference. You can have a look at it. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to tell is in the Jenkins, there is a plugin called as Blue Ocean. So what that does is it'll give a pictorial representation if we are bored with all this UI, right? So there's a plugin. So let's try to install that Blue Ocean plugin. Let's go to Manage Jenkins and that Manage Plugins. Okay, so available option. Go to Blue Oceans. Yeah, this plugin. So this is very good. It has very good UI. So let's start install this one. And you can see a pictorial representation of how the builds are happening. So let's see once it is installed. So it's configuring all these dependencies. Okay, so it's installed. Now let's go back to Jenkins here. If I go to any of the project, let's say demo pipeline, so you'll see this Blue Ocean link here. If I click on this, you should be getting a new UI. Okay, so all the runs that have happened, right? So it'll list all the runs. If I click on this particular build, so it'll give me all the details in this format. Okay, so all the stages you can see here, like git SCM, install Sonar. Let's say I want to check what happened in the git SCM. I just click on that and you can see all the steps here, what happened, like Maven build. It's trying to fetch some details like this. And finally, if you want to see, so you can see the logs here, like at each stage, what is happening, the logs will be available here. So this is much better, like installation stage. If I want to go with that one, just click on that. So it'll also give how many seconds it has taken to build it. So what this plugin is doing, see, you can see all the logs will be available in this format. Okay, so this is pretty useful. If you want to go back, you just have to click on this, go to classic mode, and you'll be going back to the classic mode. And if you want to rerun some of these, again, you want to rerun this job, you can just go with the rerun. Okay, this is pretty useful. We are using in our project as well. So this will give a very good UI wherein you can see, okay, if there is any error, you can see, let's say this is the build 9, right? So if I go to build 8 or if I go to build 7, so there is some error in the install stage, right? So if I click on this, it will give me more details where what happened, what was the issue. All the logs you'll be able to see in this easily in this format, right? So this is pretty much useful. So we are using in our project. So that is just one thing I just wanted to tell you guys. Okay, so if you want back, you just click on the classic mode and it'll go back to the previous. Okay, it'll go back to the previous mode there. Okay, so just click on, and if you go to the any of the project, and that if you click on the project, you'll be getting this option. Okay, I think that's it for today. So try out that SonarQube in Monday when we connect. So we'll go with Artifactory, and also one project I will configure for Ansible as well. Just a simple Java project. We'll just build it and we'll deploy it to Tomcat server. Okay. So do you have any time, like we'll continue or we'll take it on Monday? That will be our Sunday evening.
Monday should be fine.
Okay. So yeah,
I mean,
what about
Monday means
Vikas?
Monday
Yeah,
means
Monday means your Sunday evening, Vikas.
9 o'clock.
Yeah, same time as we connected today.
Okay, 9:30. Okay, I'm okay with that.
All right. So please do. I would request that please go and practice this so that the more questions you get, the more you learn. So please go and practice it, and then try out all these options. I put the link here. Just try to configure it and set it up. You might face some issues, but yeah, definitely you'll be at the end. The worth result will be fruitful, is what I'll say. Okay. Thanks for today. Thanks for joining. Have a nice weekend then. We'll talk on Sunday evening. Okay.
Sure.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye, guys. Bye.